Hey guys, welcome to the next chapter in my Star Trek watching adventures. As I have just completed seasons 1 through 3 of Star Trek the original series, we are now moving on to Star Trek the animated series. I am very much looking forward to this. I have been quite curious about how exactly this is going to be for a long time, and I'm just really excited that we're moving on to something new. Like, we're making progress. We're going places. We're going where no bunny has gone before. I have a couple quick, hopefully quick, book updates for you guys for my reading. A couple people last episode that I released were upset that I was including these. I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm going to keep doing them because overwhelmingly, a lot of people seem to be really into them. Two people are not, and were vocal about it. And the rest of the people, I would just assume, who aren't interested, would just skip to the episode part of the video. And if that's difficult for anybody, then I will be trying to include timestamps so you guys can just skip to the episode if you're not interested in the books. And I mean, not everybody's interested in reading, and that's perfectly fine, but to me, it feels unnatural to put it at the end of the episode. And it was suggested that I should make my own, like, separate videos for these. And this is the only way that I would do it. I want this to stay very casual. If I were to make it its own series, then it would become another job for me. And then I wouldn't want to do it. Would be stressful. I would be like worrying about what I'm saying, and I would just really love to keep just kind of sharing a couple quick thoughts and then moving on. And I'm not upset with anybody who spoke negatively about me putting these here. Just a couple of things that were said. For one, it's a dick move for me to expect everybody to watch the book portions. I don't, and I never did. Actually, I'm surprised that as many people are actually watching through them as there are. So you guys are awesome that are watching and telling me your experiences with these authors and these books and recommending more stuff to me. I love it. Secondly, it was also said that I should keep the videos to what they're supposed to be about. And to that, I say it's my video and I'm making them for myself and for anybody who wants to watch them. And so the videos are supposed to be what I want them to be. And that's what they are, and that's what they're going to keep being. Okay, so hope we got all of that square. I'm going to try to keep this quick, but you guys can skip ahead if you don't care. Like, I completely 100% understand. Like I said, it boggles my mind that so many people have been really excited and thanking me for including these. And so, Harlan Ellison. So I previously said that I was going to take a break from him after I read I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. I dove right back into him. I mentioned to you guys that I read The Deathbird, I believe, and that I was going to reread it. So I reread that, and then I read the next couple short stories in here. And then I got to another section called Lost Souls, and that's when I realized that this is divided into different sections. The one that I read was Angry Gods. The next one is Lost Souls, and then there's Passage of Time, the lighter side, and then the last word, which is only one story. But this is cool because I can read one section and then I could read something else, another story, and then come back and read another section of Harlan Ellison. So I read through the Angry Gods, which consisted of Repent Harlequin, Said the TikTok Man, I Have No Mouth, and I Must Scream, The Deathbird, Chatting with Anubis, and The Whimper of Whipped Dogs. I really liked Chatting with Anubis and The Whimper of Whipped Dogs as well, but my favorite, I think, is The Deathbird out of all of these. So that's that. And the next book that I'm reading is this one, Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke. Okay, you know what? This is going to be a longer book review because I'm really excited to talk about why I am reading this one. Some of you guys had recommended this book to me, but This is one that I've been wanting to read since before I started talking about the books on this channel. There is a gaming podcast that I love to watch, and they go into a really deep dive about the themes, philosophy, psychology, just all those kind of things in stories in games. And one game that I really fell in love with is an old Japanese RPG from, I want to say, the 90s, the late 90s, called Xenogears. And when they were discussing Xenogears in their podcast, they kept bringing up this book, Childhood's End. And one of the characters in Xenogears is named after Corellin from this book. It was mistranslated into English as Krellian, but yeah, Corellin, a character named Corellin, is in Xenogears, and I am seeing some parallels between the story of Xenogears and the setting. It's not one-to-one, but there are definitely some things that are similar and some parallels between the Corellins, and it's really neat. And I am in the third section of this book, so it's sectioned into 3 parts. 1 is the Earth and the Overlords, 2 is the Golden Age, and so now I'm getting into the last generation. There is that much more, so I'm almost done with that, and that is my update. Okay, so we're gonna watch the first episode of Star Trek the Animated Series. So I know we have at least some of the same writers from the original series. I know DC Fontana has written at least one of these animated series episodes, and the cast are doing the voiceovers for their own characters. So yeah, I'm really super excited. Okay, so let's watch it. Thank you guys so much for being awesome and dealing with my eccentricities. Enjoy episode 1 of the animated series.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
New song. I love it already. We'll see how it goes from here, though. Beyond the Farthest Star. Written by Samuel A. Peoples. I feel like I recognize that name.
On outward course beyond the fringe of our galaxy towards Questar M17. Mission? Star charting.
I am worried about these episodes being like 30 minutes long, though. Even the hour-long episodes a lot of times didn't feel like long enough.
Situation, Mr. Scott?
We've picked up speed, sir, rapidly. I've cut back power, but we continue to gain momentum.
Drifting farther, Captain. Reverse course.
I can only describe it as hypergravity, Captain. It's dragging the Enterprise toward it.
Captain, that's the source of the radio emissions.
Dig in the music.
Negative star mass.
How much time do we have?
Impact in 93 seconds.
There's another signal. Listen.
Sulu. Flank speed ahead.
Chekhov is looking a little weird today. Who's the alien guy?
Orbital velocity.
I love the shots, the space shots of like the planet and the
If
Enterprise.
this pull is this strong, Jim, how do we get out of orbit?
I'm getting that radio sound again, sir. It's on the view screen now, sir.
What is that? Some kind of giant organism? Or is it a habitation?
Starship.
It's a starship?
Nothing I've ever seen.
I'll bet she was pulled in like we were.
That ship is dead. There's no thermal reading to support life aboard her. Nothing except a slight magnetic flux reading. Retroanalysis of the ship's spectra dates it as having been in orbit here for slightly more than 300 million years.
Wow, that's a long time.
What kind of people could have built it to touch even a starship with grace and beauty?
It looks very organic.
We'll board her, Mr. Spock.
Ooh.
Scotty, Bones, you'll come with us. Activate life support belts. Energize.
One of the cool things about animation is that your imagination is the limit. You can make them go anywhere. You can Look at this.
A similarity to natural insect designs of Earth. The
Ooh.
honeycombs of bees.
Yeah, it's like a hive.
Would you look at this now? This metal. It was drawn into filaments and spun.
Like a spider spins his web. Every pod. They've all been burst open.
Aye.
Must have been some accident.
Or maybe this is just the nest.
Must consider the alternative possibility that the crew of this ship destroyed her themselves.
Maybe they were never meant to stay on this vessel. They have some sort of energy field around them that allows them to be outside of like the normal atmosphere, it looks like. I love the colors.
Lieutenant, are you still getting that radio signal from the ship?
Negative, Captain. It stopped transmitting when you beamed aboard.
We're going inside.
It's registering energy.
You mean it's functioning? After all the millenniums this ship has been here?
The wands are accumulators.
The whole ship is designed to receive and store energy.
Gives me the creeps.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. I feel like we shouldn't be touching anything here.
Primal superstition.
Compared to the beings that built this ship, we are primitive people. Even you, Mr. Spock.
I want to see what these creatures look like. Do they look like insects?
Tricorder analysis, Mr. Spock.
Both air and gravity within 2 points of Earth normal.
Sulu,
No use, Captain.
something's drained them.
You mean we're trapped here? No communication?
The control center of the starship.
It's like something they jury-rigged during an emergency
But shielded from what?
from whatever had come aboard their ship.
But nothing, no form of life could survive 300 million years.
What no known form of life.
It's a lot of unknowns out in the galaxy.
Something is trying to get in.
What is it?
I'm not sure.
Someone talking? Whoa! It is the bug man.
It could be a ship's log or a warning.
A message from 300 million years ago.
I may be able to get a translation.
Hurry up, Spock.
Patience, Doctor.
Danger.
Danger?
Rather than carry this malevolent life form to other worlds, we have decided to destroy our own ship, the Stringy Watch.
No! Oh my god! Scotty flew! Whew!
Get out of here! Hurry!
We're locked on and beaming them aboard.
Good work, Mr. Kyle.
Mr. Kyle,
Here they come now.
here they come now.
Something beamed aboard with you.
That thing they were trying to save the galaxy from?
Transport it back out.
It's in the vents? It's in the machinery. So maybe this thing has been looking to hitch a ride for over 3 million years? Or whatever. How many did they say? And these hive species, they destroyed their own ships, so they couldn't be the carrier of this thing.
It's here.
That alien commander, sir. The message said that they had to destroy their own ship.
Until we learn more about it, Scotty, perhaps we should be ready to do the same.
Decks 5 and 6 report shutdown of all life support systems.
Not good.
Trouble in the engineering core.
Bones, get down to the engineering core on the double.
Is that Chapel? Nurse Chapel.
The force field of his belt won't hold that weight for long, Jim.
Ooh, I like these force field belts. Very cool.
Open the core hatch.
It's no use, sir. The mechanism is frozen.
Get the cutter beams on that hatch. Move!
Yes, sir.
We gotta save my Scotty.
Something's activating the ship's phaser banks. They're locking on the alien starship.
But that thing's already destroyed. Oh. Well, now it's really destroyed. Oh.
They activated themselves.
I want Chekhov.
Power out on all but key levels, Captain.
It seems to be taking control of the whole ship.
Can you rig a low-frequency shield on our navigation console?
It would have a very small field.
Do it.
This is moving real, like the dialogue is just really fast.
It must be held by the magnetic force of the dead star, and it needs a starship to break free.
You are correct, Captain James T. Kirk.
Hello?
Have the starship I've waited for so long.
Yeah, very long. We gonna see what you look like? Nope.
You will now remove the static shield from the navigation console. You will obey me.
And if I refuse?
Obey me.
Captain!
Oh no.
No, Captain.
I'll obey. Let him go.
He's gotta have some plan. Oh shit.
Obey me.
Mr. Scott, install the auxiliary controls.
Aye, Captain.
It is a magnetic organism without mass. It is a form of primal energy. It has become the Enterprise.
It's essentially the brain of the Enterprise.
It is growing stronger.
Slingshot effect to yank us out of orbit. Can you compute it in your mind?
I believe I can, Captain.
And plot course to galactic coordinates 036.
That's the heart of the galaxy, Captain.
Plot the course, Mr. Sulu.
This symbiote can reproduce itself by mitosis and take over every starship we encounter.
Oh no.
Whole planets.
I'm aware of that, Mr. Spock.
Gonna have to self-destruct if we can't deal with it.
Auxiliary controls ready to activate, Captain.
Controls activated.
We're dropping out of orbit. We're falling into the dead sun.
Apply full power. Obey me. Do not destroy the ship. Obey. Obey.
Oh my gosh.
To activate warp drive unit. Activated, Captain.
Whoa. Do we just fling him back on the planet?
Is it gone?
Affirmative. It fled the ship when it thought we would crash into the dead star.
Oh.
Leave me alone, please.
Well, you should have asked more nicely in the first place.
So lonely.
That's haunting.
Resuming outward course beyond the farthest star of our galaxy. Mission star charting.
So I think this is the oldest animated thing that I've really sat down and watched. I mean, I've seen like old Mickey Mouse. I think that was probably like Steamboat Willie, but I've never really like sat down and like said like, okay, I'm gonna watch this. This is the oldest animation that I've seen. I see that Samuel, Mr. Samuel Peoples, he only wrote one episode of Star Trek the Original Series. I remember his name, so I assumed that maybe he did more than just one, but it looks like he wrote the second pilot, Where No Man Has Gone Before, which was a really great episode. Okay, so I have some thoughts, some positive, some negative. I like the way some of the characters were drawn, and I do not like the way some of the other characters were drawn. I thought Uhura and Spock and Bones looked really good. Like when you look at them, you could see like at their features and stuff that's them. I don't think I had an issue with Sulu. I think he looked like when you look at him, you're like, oh, that's Sulu. And I guess like Uhura, she obviously like she stands out. She's a black lady. Spock is a Vulcan with his ears and his eyebrows. So obviously you would recognize them, but I still felt like their features also looked like them. Bones, he's just a white dude. And I thought they did a really good job of drawing his features to make it like that's Bones. I do not like the way that they draw Kirk or Scotty. I feel like when I look at these characters, I don't see Kirk and I don't see Scotty. So for me, they really nailed it with some, others not so much. There was no Chekhov in this episode. I hope that we're going to see him. I am assuming that we will, but who knows? I would be really interested to see how he looks. I feel like he probably looks like Chekhov. He has some very distinguishing features. I felt like things were moving really fast in this episode, and I was afraid that this was going to happen. I know that there were some episodes of the original series where I felt like they were really stretched, and I feel like those episodes might have been, maybe they would have worked really well as a condensed like 30-minute episode, but there was like really no downtime, and so the pacing was a bit fast for me. I like it when there are moments when things slow down, where we get like a shot of people walking in the hallways or whatever it may be, where it's just like we're just kind of taking in the scenery, we're getting the vibes, the atmosphere. And there was just a lot of talking constantly in this, a little bit too much for me. I did really enjoy the artwork with the alien vessel, the one that looked like a series of hives. The colors and just the way it was drawn, it looked really organic, but it was something that was crafted out of metal, and it had these like computer parts in them. Myself and Bones were both getting kind of like bad vibes from this place, like maybe it wasn't a safe place to be in. But the inhabitants that actually were the ones who built this spaceship sacrificed their ship and themselves to keep this horrible creature from getting out and taking over the rest of the galaxy like this guy was trying to do. And he was just a very lonely entity that I guess was going about the wrong way, trying to integrate with other people. I mean, he did seem like he just wanted to have some friends and to talk to someone and be around other people, creatures, whatever, entities, intelligent life. But does he really not understand that just taking over someone's ship and telling them to obey him and zapping them when they don't obey is not the way you make friends? I guess that kind of concept is very foreign to some individuals in the galaxy. I am curious to know more about that alien that was, I believe, in the navigator's seat, where Chekhov would normally be. Who was he? What race is he? I'm not sure if we ever really heard a name for him. If we did, it completely went over my head. The force field belts were really cool. I really liked that. And it's really nice to be able to hear the cast's voices, even though we don't really get to see their faces. And that was less than 24 minutes actually. So the episode itself is probably, when you take the credits out, the opening credits, it's like 22, 23 minutes. So it's not even half an hour. I guess it would be a half an hour time slot with commercials. So only about 22 minutes or so of episode. I am hoping that the pacing will be a little bit better for me in the next episode. I am excited to see more. I wasn't like super impressed, but I'm still feeling hopeful that there's going to be some really good stuff coming up. Yeah, so I think that's about it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of Star Trek: The Animated Series. Bye-bye!